Hi guys, it's Rio. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a beauty writer for The Strategist, and today we're going to be comparing two very popular under eye concealers for the second episode of What's the Actual Difference. The NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer is a medium to full coverage buildable concealer, and the Tarte Shape Tape is a very full coverage concealer. And while these are both great for under eyes, they can also be used for regular spot concealing any blemishes or any other dark spots you want to hide. So the number one difference I'd say between these two concealers right off the bat is the applicator. The NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer is a lot thinner and the Shape Tape is a lot thicker. A personal issue I have with the Tarte Shape Tape is how messy it is. I just find that it gets product everywhere, which is a bummer because I really do enjoy the consistency and the coverage of this, not just for my under eyes, but for everywhere. This happens to be a new one, but I've gone through a few of these and I've never had a problem. People like the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer a lot for under eyes because it gives you this really wide, quick distribution of concealer right under your eyes. But I think for people who like a little bit more of a soft coverage, they tend to lean more towards the Radiant Creamy Concealer, not only because it's less coverage, but also because it is a little bit smaller and daintier, so you can give just two tiny little dots if you want to. So before we get into concealing, I'm just gonna quickly prep my skin with this Hangover Primer from Too Faced. So my skin is nice and moisturized. And then I'm going to start off by doing the Tarte Shape Tape on one side of my face, focusing on the under eyes. I wear this concealer a lot alone with like no other foundation underneath, but I usually wear under my eyes just about that much. Maybe if I'm really exhausted, I'll use that much, and I'm telling you, that's enough. But I'll show you guys how dramatic it looks when you actually apply it the way you probably would when you first get it. And I know a lot of makeup artists really like this. The formula is so amazing, especially when you are concealing zits. It basically completely covers out and cancels out any redness you have underneath. And it actually looks really natural, but when you spread it out like this, it looks nice in this light on camera, but in the daytime, it's a lot. Having said that, I love this for my under eyes when I just do a touch of it. I probably wouldn't wear this full coverage concealer under my eyes to work or out during the day. However, I would, and I do, wear this NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer out all the time during the day. I feel like it's the perfect coverage. So even that much, like, looks like a lot, but I think the biggest difference is that you can kind of still see some of the blue come through, which is nice because then you can just continue to build like a little bit in the corner if you want to add a little more and cancel out a little more of that blue. So now that you guys saw how it looks on my under eyes, I'm actually going to conceal the rest of my face. All the time I get questions about whether the Tarte Shape Tape is too full coverage to wear on its own, but it's also super dewy and super blendable, so it is a really good thing to wear on its own. Just around the corner of my nose, that's a place where I get a lot of redness throughout the day, especially in the heat. I mean, and you can just see, like, if you use a little bit, it's really nice and dewy. It is really full coverage, but when you blend it out with a beauty blender, it just gives you like a really nice, soft, but not too intense, like foundation coverage, basically. And now I'm gonna use the Radiant Creamy Concealer on the other half of my face. Cover these zits I have here. So you can kind of tell that the Radiant Creamy Concealer does a really good job of kind of covering that one specific area that you've targeted. But the way that the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer kind of like buffs out into your whole skin, it gives you a really, really nice airbrushed effect. Whereas the Radiant Creamy Concealer is a little bit too light coverage, but it's really great for targeting specific areas and then building on that one area. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.